Hi, so I'm back for the last episode. So this is the third one out of the three. So if you want to check out the others, everything will be put in the description box. So let's get going without losing much more time. Those are just really the four that when I made my previous episode, I just thought that those designers deserved a full video just for them, because those are the ones that inspired me in some way to become a jewelry designer, and that really were a big inspiration for me. So the first one is Chen Liu. So Chen Liu was born in Vietnam, but she studied in America, and she established her first brand in Los Angeles in 1982. And what I loved about Chen Liu is the simplicity yet not simplistic approach to jewelry making, because the two pieces I've selected, especially the bracelet, the wrap bracelet, now we see it everywhere, but back in the day when she launched this, it was really something that was quite unique, and I like the way she was approaching jewelry making, because back in the day I didn't have the knowledge I had. I wasn't crafting jewels in silver at that time, like 5 years ago. So it was really a sort of inspiration for me that made me think that it was possible to become a designer, even though I didn't know how to work silver, and I wasn't a silversmith back then. And it might sound a bit cheesy, because when I heard it prior to having gone through it myself, when I heard, people getting interviewed and being like, it gave me hope, and it made me realize that it was possible for me to succeed, even though I come from a different background or from a different ethnicity, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh la la. This is kind of, a bit too cheesy, and I realized that in some way, actually I do believe that it does help when you see someone that succeeds in another country, a foreigner that succeeds, because part of my family is French, the other part is Vietnamese, and I think it was always in the back of my mind when I started to look for jewelry designers and for inspiration back in the day when I launched my first brand that didn't work for me, that didn't work out. It was really reassuring somehow to know that somebody from like Vietnamese, blood could do something and could start to and actually build a really successful business in another country, in a foreign country. So I kind of looked up to her for many reasons, but that was one of them. And I thought that she was so good at making things approachable, easy to wear, easy wearable for men, for women. And this was really she was able to kind of craft a universal, I was going to say crack the code, but it's really finding something that everybody could wear. And for me, not everybody can do this, and she managed to do it, and I was really looking up to her. And since 2016, it's her niece that is now in charge of the brand, Tessa Tran. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I don't speak Vietnamese, but so she passed the creative torch to her niece, but the brand is really successful and will, I think, live on for a long time. So yeah, Chen Liu was one of my main inspiration back in the day. The other main inspiration is I've placed them by alphabetical order, by the way, like the other episodes. So the next one is Jennifer Fisher. So Jennifer Fisher for me is one of the I would say it's more actually it's a bit like Chen Liu. What I love with her is that, so to give you a bit of background, put it back in the context. So Jennifer Fisher was born in Santa Barbara, and she founded her brand in 2005. And prior to this, she had a background of a wardrobe stylist. So she kind of was already in this world of having to work with kind of notorious people. And I think that helped a lot for the marketing and the kind of expansion of her brand. But she started by by creating for her stamped pieces of jewelry with the names of her children and dates and things like that. And back in the day, it wasn't that famous. Not everybody was doing it. And she starts making them for her. And then people oh, where did you get that? And that's how she started, pretty much by word of mouth and just working with people around her, doing this for friends and family, and then getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the pieces I'm showing you there on this photo, it's the main, for me, it's the essence of Jennifer Fisher. It's the first pieces she was mostly doing at the time, custom necklaces. And what I loved with her, well, first of all, I love micro paved jewels, I love necklaces, and I like the accumulation and the mix also of colors of metals like rose gold, gold, and silver. And what I loved with her is that she was able, when I first found out about her, I loved the concept of being able to make pieces of jewelry that will become unique, just like a recipe. It becomes unique because you choose the ingredients, you choose the pieces, and then you add them up, and then you have something that nobody else will have. And I love this idea of finding kind of universal symbols to be able to make one-of-a-kind jewels that will have their own history and that will represent the history of the wearer, so to speak. So I love this idea, and I like the fact, for me, it was really inspirational in the sense that it was a way to craft jewels that could be really personal and that could really tell one's story. And that's something that really inspired me. And now, obviously, she does way more things. She has expanded her business, is going super well. And I really like what she came up with, and I love this idea of making history through your jewelry and being able to evolve with it and add things, maybe take off things, and always keep going with this. It's like you can the necklaces could last for a lifetime or two, because I don't know, I thought it was really inspiring. There was something even poetic to it. So yeah, she was a really great inspiration for me. I really thought she had a wonderful kind of team working. Like I guess she has a good PR or something, because she really did her promo super well. That's why I was really looking up to her. The next one, Pamela Loeb. So I really love Pamela Loeb. So Pamela Loeb is a native New Yorker. She started her brand in 2006, and she won multiple prizes, jewelry awards, and stuff like that. And what I love with Pamela Loeb is really, she has a sort of mystery to her, this kind of, I don't know, melancholy. And the two pieces I've shown you there are the pieces that made her those were her statement pieces, especially the ring. I'm still getting a ring when I can. I've seen on the website, I think she still does them. But anyway, and so it's really, for me, she was the inspiration, but really on the craftsmanship side of the game, because for me, she was making jewelry, A, that I wanted to wear, B, that really encompassed what I wanted jewelry to be, which was some sort of powerful esoterical meaning behind the pieces, and really statement pieces that were able to put together many aspects of I guess, astrology, esotericism, and I really like this kind of mystery that emanates from her pieces. I thought that recently, like the last 3 years, she kind of, I still love what she does, but it's not as kind of statement pieces as before, I find. But I guess you can always renew yourself, and it's hard for a designer to always come up with new ideas. But I absolutely love what she does. The arrowhead, yeah, that's how you say arrowhead ring is one of my favorite from hers, and I love the brand, and I was really inspired by the marketing aspect, how she was able to really photograph her jewelry to show the best out of it. She really had this capacity. When I was looking at the Instagram page, there's this coherence and cohesive really touch to the brand, feel to the brand that is really quite unique, and that I really like it. I'm really inspired by how she's able to come up with ways to portray and wear her jewelry, and and the craftsmanship is great too. And the last one is really kind of someone, the first three were more on a kind of personal, kind of sentimental level, and also the more marketing and branding aspect of it. But whereas Chen, for me, he's the best. I'm going to put it down right now. He's the best craftsman, jeweler, silversmith, goldsmith, anything you can think of. He's the best. For me, maybe there'll be someone that comes up and that like take the throne, but for me right now, he's sitting on the throne and he's well set to stay there. And not only because he's really gifted, but also because of his life. He had to stop school when he was 13 to help his parents because he needed to work to support the family. He then enrolled and got into sculpture somehow, and then drifted to jewelry making and never stopped since then. And for me, he was a pioneer in many ways. And the fact again that an Asian person was able to reach that level kind of made me think, wow, it's possible, you know. So he's Hong Kong based, and he's working since 1987 in the jewelry business. And because he's also a lapidary, he created the Wallace cut, which is a specific way to cut stones through using water or something like this, or laser underwater. So he was a pioneer. The last collection he dropped was using porcelain. You know porcelain? I don't know how you say this. Pretty much pottery-like. So he always comes up with those crazy ideas. He was also the first contemporary jeweler that hold a solo exhibition at the Capitol Museum in Beijing. He was also the first Asian jeweler to exhibit his work at the Biennale de Paris, which is a very famous thing that happens each year where all the best jewelers go and show that their work, exhibit their work. So in many ways he was a pioneer, and I guess he kept this simplicity, this authenticity, and honestly he makes jewels that's beyond this world. I could only take a few there, but you can go and Google him and see everything he does. He sold I think, like, if you want a piece from him, like, you better be at least a millionaire, because this is really, we're talking millions there. And for those that are into this, he sold a $57 million necklace. I didn't put it because I didn't find anything really kind of mind-blowing about it, but I guess a billionaire, high Taiwanese billionaire must have bought it or something. And he works with the crème de la crème, and his designs are one of a kind. And obviously, for me, like, what his work belongs in museums and stuff like that. So, well, who knows? One day maybe I will be able to have a piece from him and perhaps even meet him. That would be amazing. I think he does now conferences and things like that in really prestigious schools. But for me, he has the whole package. Like, he's gifted. He's like on top of the game. Nobody can. Like, he's the best, you know, like, for me, he's the best. And he has a history, and his jewels are so poetic, and there's really something so unique about them that I've never seen anywhere else. And for me, he's definitely my favorite when it comes to craftsmanship. He's on top of the game, really. So voila, I've finished this episode on my favorite designers. Now you know why they are, and I hope this was also inspirational for you, and I'll see you around for another video. Bye!